Good morning, everybody. Believe it or not, it's already week 6, which puts us closer to midterm than the beginning of the semester. In this discussion, I'm going to be taking a look back at reading question posts and the public discourse draft. And I'll end by taking a look forward at the next project, which is going to have us comparing how a subject looks in public discourse to the way that it looks in academic discourse. First, though, I want to address the reading question posts, and these are the weekly homework assignments that you've got that are based on the readings that you do out of the course textbook. These are meant to, the best that they possibly can, replace the discussion that would take place in a regular seated class. Now, I have to acknowledge a caveat there. They're not a perfect replacement. Obviously, we're not sitting in a classroom with other people, and there are plenty of things that would be taking place in that discussion in that classroom that we miss out on. There are lots of nonverbal cues and things that are just related to the experience of being around other people that we don't really get. However, it doesn't make a lot of sense to focus on what we're not getting. Instead, there are still some things that we could benefit from, mostly including the fact that we could still be looking at the way that our classmates and peers are responding to what we're doing and benefit from that. So I want to make sure we all know that failing to read other students' posts is giving up on the chance to benefit from what they have to say about the reading, even if they're saying basically the same thing as you are, right? Either way, there, if they're saying something different, you see that different perspective. If they're saying something that's pretty similar to what you're saying, well, in that case, you're still benefiting from that because that's giving you the additional support of knowing that someone else is coming away from that reading with basically the same knowledge you are. The best case scenario then for looking at these posts and benefiting from them is that you carefully read the textbook, you read other students' posts, respond to their posts, and after doing that, then you make your own, right? So again, best case scenario, that's how that goes. Worst case scenario, though, we start at around Sunday at say 11:30 p.m. with the post due by 11:59 p.m. Turn on your device, open Blackboard, skim the chapter, kind of minimally answer the reading questions, make a quick post to get it done on time, and we don't really bother reading or even acknowledging that other people have made posts. In this case, it's the worst case scenario because of the fact that the chapter itself isn't fully read and absorbed. The questions aren't fully developed. Oftentimes, they don't refer to specific chapter points like they should. There's no benefit from or interaction with other students. And the posts are often not proofread, leading to clarity problems. And actually, I've seen a lot of this one lately. Sometimes I'll get to these homework posts and try as I might to read those and figure out what you're saying. If the clarity problems are significant enough, I can't. And as a result, well, I can't really give credit to what I don't understand. Looking back at the public discourse analysis drafts, we've said enough about this project and the drafting of it and all that. We're at the point now where any additional feedback I can give you really has to be on an individual basis. Speaking of which, the due date for the draft was last Sunday, the 27th. Some people got that in, and I've actually gone through all of the drafts that were submitted on time and corrected those. So that's good. Those people have now got about a week and a half to go through their drafts and make the necessary corrections. If you haven't submitted one of these by the original due date, email me and we'll see if we can work something out. But the email needs to come first because, well, there was a due date. And I would really love to know why it was that the submission wasn't made then. If you're looking for examples, there's a fantastic example posted from Erin Elliott, one of the students in the course. Her draft is looking at social media and the public discourse on social media having to do with DACA, which is an interesting program instituted by the US government for people who came here as children of immigrants. The final due date for this essay is the 14th of March. So again, we've got about 10 days from now, give or take. Um, if you've still got to get one of these drafts in, please get in touch with me soon so we can figure out, why that is and how to have you do so. I would hate to have people simply miss this, especially because midterm is coming so soon. It'd be a real pity to have you fall behind already. Also, thinking about the public discourse analysis drafts, I did want to say something in regards to the sorts of comments and corrections that you're going to find on those. Those comments and corrections come in two flavors, correctness and clarity concerns and essay idea, structure, and organization concerns. Right now, the first ones are the concerns that have to do with individual points in the paper, mechanical mistakes, grammatical mistakes, little things which individually might not be big problems. But like I just said, in regards to similar mistakes in the homework posts, if enough of these things start to pile up, it's a little bit like driving through a snowstorm. The first couple of flakes don't make that much of a difference, but as the flakes start to come harder and heavier, and there are more of them, it becomes impossible to see through those. The same thing is the case with clarity and other sorts of problems. If those things start to pile up, if too many of them happen in a short enough amount of space, it just becomes impossible to read what you've written. And in that case, there's a really, considerable amount of work to be done to clarify that. On the other hand, though, you might very well have something you've written that is grammatically correct and clear and all of that good stuff. But if it doesn't really fulfill what the assignment asks it to do, then it's still not going to really do very much. It might be clear and beautifully written, but again, if it's not developing the ideas the way that the assignment called for, then there are still significant problems to address. So, anyway, correctness and clarity. This is going to get corrected the first time with a comment left in feedback having to do with the rule or guideline that you'll need to follow for each of the other instances of that problem in the essay. Sometimes this just takes the form, though, of pointing out things I can't understand, right? Because again, if I can't understand it, I don't really have a way of inferring what you meant, so I might not have a good way of making a correction. On the other hand, if we do have corrections that are made based on essay ideas and structures and organization, like I was just saying before, the feedback is left as a way of making sure that you develop the ideas in line with the essay assignment. Coming up next, we're going to be working on an academic discourse analysis as opposed to a public discourse analysis, but they're related. This is actually going to build from your public discourse analysis because you'll be using the same topic. The difference is that where with the public discourse analysis, you were evaluating the topic based on how public discourse allows us to understand it. For this upcoming essay, instead, we're going to be looking at the way that academic discourse deals with that topic. Now, this has compare and contrast logic at its heart. Effectively, what we're asking is, how did the public discourse having to do with your topic compare with or differ from the academic discourse having to do with the topic? Public discourse allows us to know a topic one way, academic discourse allows us to know it another way. So, what are the comparative strengths and weaknesses of both? We're going to get that sample of academic discourse having to do with your topic by going through the library databases and finding a piece of scholarly research that was written and published having to do with the specific topic you've chosen. You'll want to, by the way, look at the assignment guidelines that are posted to Blackboard. You'll find those things in course content, academic discourse analysis, and right at the top of that folder, you'll find a link to the assignment guidelines. So please review those. For now, start experimenting with the Primo search engine. And I'll have a copy of this presentation posted to Blackboard along with the video. You'll find that there's a hyperlink that'll take you directly to Primo from the library. Now, Primo is powerful and helpful and dangerous the same way that Google is powerful and helpful and dangerous. It gets about a million results for a basic search, right? So lots of options, but the problem is that there are so many that we couldn't possibly use them all. So while we'll begin with a broad search, we're going to go from that to quickly limiting and filtering it down to a much more manageable number of results. Make sure that your results are current and relevant to your topic and interests. You want to find something that seems interesting on a personal level, and also find something soon so that you can start working with it. There are a lot of really good things about the way that scholarly academic research works, but one of the things we've got to be aware of is the fact that can be kind of dense. It can take a little while to work with and really understand. I'll have a video posted in just a little while having to do with how to go through the Primo search engine and do a search and limit and all that. But for now, just know that it's there and try to familiarize yourself with its workings. For the time being, thank you everybody for your attention, and I'll be in touch soon.